We've got a real trooper here. I know Luke Rudowski isn't a liar, and the other We Are Changers I know personally aren't liars. They've always told me the truth. They're stand-up people that take death threats, harassment. Police come up and arrest them saying their cameras are machine guns and that their backpacks are bombs, and we know you're not terrorists, but we're going to say you are. I knew they're getting death threats to their family, and I knew that German Talis goes, that's his nickname, was, really getting demonized when I saw this in the news. Gary Talis, again, nickname German Talis. And I remember when this all happened, they said, yeah, we were just walking out, didn't have it on camera because we didn't have our cameras on. We were going to ask questions of Laura Bush at an event. And it turns out a Republican fundraiser in New York construction, they said, comes over with his daughter in a wheelchair and starts bashing, comes across the street with her screaming, why are you hitting my daughter? Why are you hitting my daughter? And there were surveillance cameras, and the police wouldn't release them, and then said there was no tape, but that they saw Gary beating her savagely, and the Secret Service swore to it. But I believed Gary, and I believed Luke, and I believed the other witnesses. It was a total setup. Then we found out this father is really hooked up, if you know what I mean, really connected in New York, juiced up, as they say, into the power structure. And this was a black op. And Sean Hannity had her on and said, oh, and you could hear somebody whispering, like, say this. And she'd go, so, Sean Hannity, so they attacked you. Hold on. Yeah. Oh, that's what I say? Yeah, they did. And then Fox News and New York Post and all of this. And here's UPI Today, acquittal in Laura Bush heckling case. A New York jury has acquitted 24-year-old man accused of heckling Laura Bush. Oh, how dare you? And Jenna Bush. And assaulting a wheelchair-bound teenager and her family. Next, they'll say Ahmadinejad did that. I mean, it's just made-up CIA baloney. The New York Post reported Wednesday a Manhattan's criminal court jury acquitted Gary Talis. Imagine, they said he was going to prison, felonies. But he stood up, he fought back, he said, I'm innocent. And it just goes on from there. So, Gary, in the time we have, they threw the book at you, the Secret Service lied, the cops lied, but you said, look, I don't care what you threaten with me. I'm not plea bargaining. I didn't do this. I was assaulted by them. And I was recapping the story from a year ago. That's correct. He came over to you and was going, don't hit her, don't hit her, don't hit her, and started choking you and attacking. Why are you hurting the girl? Why, we should do a reenactment of me with a wheelchair going, don't hurt her, don't hurt her. I mean, just they love using things like that. Describe what happened.
It was an adventure, or that's all I could say. Basically, I was too strong for this whole psyop. They wanted to give me community service as a plea bargain for just saying, okay, I hit the girl, but I did not hit the dad. I'm just this pathetic weakling that attacks girls. I'm not credible, and that's what they wanted to do to me. But they were actually trying to give me a year in jail, and then they were trying to throw me this plea bargain just so I could say guilty that I hit a girl in a wheelchair, but I did not touch the 300-pound father.
Okay, now describe what the 300-pound goblin did to you.
Well, I was just at the George Bush event. This guy, me being 145 pounds, he's too cowardly enough to face me face to face. He decides to ram his handicapped daughter into my side, into my back, while screaming. Look, he's hitting my daughter at the same time, simultaneously started hitting me in the back of my head.
Gary, back off your phone a bit. You're overdriving. So, describe the scene. You're there to heckle the Lord, Laura Bush. You're peacefully out there outside, and the witnesses all told me the same thing. He comes across running and screaming, and then you try to get away, and he starts ramming you, screaming, don't attack her. That's accurate.
Something like that. He hit me from the back. He didn't scream in the beginning. He tried to do it in a deceptive manner. He was hiding.
Oh, so it was a sneak attack. Then he started screaming. And okay, I was going from memory. All right, tell us about the sneak attack.
It was very well coordinated. He was standing there by the side entrance, hiding, waiting to have me pass by so he could, be a man and, what he considers a man, and hit me from the back using his handicapped daughter whose disease he uses as a trophy, by the way, to get where he's at.
You need to sue Hannity, and at least until he apologizes and admits that was a fabrication on his show. But being a CIA commander, he probably won't.
Probably it may not go anywhere because the news, they basically, they get away with stuff like that. They always...
they get away with it because people don't stand up to them.
Exactly.
Believe me, you start suing people and all. Look, they were trying to put you in prison saying we all attack. They were on the news saying you were choking her and beating her and blood was shooting everywhere. I mean, just total lies.
I mean, they'll say whatever, and people like believing things like this because it's extreme, and people, they like looking for extreme things to believe. They blow
Well, who
up
would
buildings.
imagine this guy was trying to set you up? That's actually pretty common. Folks do stuff like that. It's like all the cases of black kids or Jewish kids painting swastikas on their own dormitory and they get caught. I mean, it's basically the same thing. So he's ramming you with it. And going back from memory, didn't he start grabbing you himself or something?
Well, he tried to initiate me to hit him first. He put his finger in my face, and I told him to get out of my face because I knew what he was trying to do. He was trying to get me to hit him right in front of Secret Service, in front of the police. And I basically tried to notify an authority figure to let him know that this guy's trying to provoke something to prevent anything in the future. As I was about to do so, he coordinated the attack, and that's when the whole adventure began with me.
Okay, now going from what I heard from Luke and others and you, the Secret Service and police, they went ahead and went along with the lie. How did you defeat them in court?
Well, the prosecutor himself wasn't really the brightest person. He was a black man from Harvard that I believe that his supervisors tried to use as their new star, take on this high-profile case. But every single witness he had basically built my case. I mean, one Secret Service guy said I did not resist arrest. Police officer said I did. Levitra said he tried to handcuff me. Another police officer said Levitra was lying. Everyone basically had.
So let's be clear then. Let's be clear, because I was getting the secondhand from Luke and the Secret Service didn't lie. The New York cops lied. Okay, well that's good for the Secret Service then.
Right. The Secret Service guy basically said that I did not resist arrest, and
because he's not going to lose his job lying. Okay, that's good.
Exactly. And basically the cop couldn't corroborate anything. Everything was just a big mess. The only thing this guy had was a wheelchair, a book with children's pictures on it, and basically Maureen herself. Poor child coming in with a Girl Scout uniform, a little puppy, trying to basically appeal to the jury's emotions, but it wasn't working. The jury was seeing what was going on. It took us a day to pick a jury that would look smart enough to understand this kind of stuff and not be manipulated by emotional appeals. And I think my lawyer did a good job, and it was a good jury.
They're calling it an acquittal. Were you found not guilty, or how did this play out?
Right, I was found not guilty on all 4 charges and tried to get me resisting.
Yeah, well, see how they spin it? I mean, an acquittal is not guilty, but the average person doesn't know what that means. It needs to say not guilty, set up. Look, you need to sue this guy. You need to sue them all. Gary, they're going to continue to go around in corners with a wheelchair, jumping out at people. Ah, you hurt her! And you're walking down the street with your family, and there's a guy waiting with a wheelchair, around the corner. I mean, you need to go after this guy.
Yeah, that'll definitely, it's a dream to go after him, and I'll put everything that I have just to make him understand that, you can't do stuff like this.
So were they angry when you were found not guilty?
Well, the guy himself was trying to stare me down the whole time in the courtroom, trying to act like a tough guy, trying to intimidate my lawyer, stepping hard to him when he was asked to leave the stand.
He attacked my daughter, Sean Hannity. Now tell him that, honey, Stacy, say he hit you, all right? I'll give you more ice cream.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's just how it was. He was sitting there yawning the whole time, looking very guilty, looking very.
Well, tell me what this liar did when we get back.